Strange signs surround us. Some of you feel it in your chest. The air feels heavier. Small events carry a weight you can't explain, and the ordinary suddenly looks unfamiliar. These are not accidents. They are signals. And if you ignore them, you miss the doorway they are opening. The Shaolin path teaches something few people truly understand. Your deepest calm is not found when life is quiet. It is discovered in the middle of disturbance. A master is not the one who feels peace when everything is easy, but the one who carries stillness while the world trembles. That stillness is not weakness, it is the highest form of strength. Today, the strangeness you notice around you is more than coincidence. These ripples are tests, not of your control, but of your presence. The Shaolin Way is to meet what feels unusual, unsettling, even absurd, not with distraction, not with panic, but by standing firmly inside yourself. This is where clarity is born. In this video, you will see why these odd events are signs you cannot afford to dismiss. You will learn how they point you back to your center, how they sharpen awareness, and how they train your spirit for mastery. I will show you perspectives drawn from Shaolin wisdom and mindfulness, truths often hidden behind silence that can transform how you walk through these times. Stay until the end, because the key is not in the beginning of the lesson, it reveals itself only when you connect all the threads. I welcome you to Shaolin Soulfire. If you seek strength that cannot be shaken by the storms of the world, then subscribe and walk this path with us. Life does not warn you before it shifts. A sudden sound, a change of direction, a person arriving at the wrong time, these are not interruptions. They are part of the training. In the Shaolin Way, surprises are not enemies to control. They are teachers sent to awaken you. When I was young in the monastery, the elders would test us without notice. A shout in the silence of meditation. A push while we balanced on one leg. The lesson was never about the shout or the push. It was about what rose inside us the moment it came. Did we lose balance? Did the mind cling to anger or fear? Or could we breathe and meet the unknown with clarity? This is why strange events in daily life matter. They expose the places where our awareness is thin. When everything follows routine, you may believe you are steady, but the first surprise shows you the truth. A small disruption is enough to make the mind scatter like leaves in the wind. The master sees this as a gift, because each disruption is a mirror. To sharpen awareness means to stand inside the moment exactly as it is, not as you wish it to be. A dog barking through the night, a sudden loss, a friend's unexpected words, each is a bell that calls you back to presence. If you resist, you suffer. If you accept, you grow sharper, lighter, freer. So when strange things appear before you, do not rush to call them bad. Pause. Feel how your body reacts, how your mind races. Then bring your breath back. This is how Shaolin cultivates unshakable presence, not by avoiding surprises, but by learning to welcome them as part of the path. A restless mind can turn even the smallest ripple into a storm. A flicker of unease, a strange feeling in the body, or a passing fear often feels like a threat. But mindfulness teaches a different way. It invites you to watch these movements of thought, as if you were lying in a field, looking up at clouds drifting across the sky. You don't chase them, you don't try to hold them, you simply see them come, and you see them go. The ancient masters knew that thoughts are not the truth of who you are. They are visitors, some soft and light, others heavy and dark, but none of them stay forever. Discipline is learning not to grasp at them, not to fight with them, but to let them reveal what they carry. A fear, for example, may not be your enemy. It may be data, a signal that there is something within you asking for attention. In the monastery, the bell would strike without warning. Its echo was not there to disturb us, but to call us back to awareness. Strange sensations in your daily life are the same. They remind you to wake up, to look closer. The disciplined mind does not rush into judgment. It studies the signal, feels it fully, and then releases it like breath. This is the art of inner mastery, to no longer be a prisoner of passing storms. Thoughts and fears may still arrive, but they no longer command your steps. They become part of the greater landscape, teaching patience, humility, and clarity. like clouds. They drift across the vastness of your sky, while the sky itself, your true awareness, remains untouched and unbroken. The body is the first temple of training. Before the mind can be steady, the body must learn stillness. In Shaolin practice, even the simplest stance is more than a posture. It is a mirror for the mind. Feet rooted into the ground, spine upright, breath flowing with ease. At first it feels like nothing more than standing, but after moments pass, the weight of the body begins to speak. The legs tremble, the back complains, the mind shouts to move. This is where the true lesson begins. Holding a stance is not about physical endurance alone. It is about sharpening attention. Each sensation becomes a signal. The shaking muscles teach you about discipline. The rising impatience shows you how quickly the mind seeks escape. The longer you stand, the clearer you see that discomfort is not the enemy. It is the guide pulling you into deeper presence. In daily life, strange signals arrive in much the same way. A sudden unease, a moment of tension, a shift that feels unsettling. The instinct is to run from it, to cover it with noise or distraction. But if you meet it like the stance, rooted, grounded breathing, you discover something different. The body itself becomes the anchor that steadies the storm. The ancient masters knew this secret. When the ground feels unstable, you must go deeper into your own roots. Sense your breath. Feel the weight in your feet. Notice how the body connects with the earth. This is not escape, it is returning. The world may shake, but your inner stance remains. And from this rooted presence, clarity rises, not as thought, but as direct knowing, calm and unshakable. There is a narrow space between what happens to you and how you respond. Most people rush through it without noticing. A word is spoken, and anger fires back. A surprise arrives, and fear takes control. But personal mastery begins the moment you learn to honor that space. It is small, but it holds the power to change everything. The elders taught that when the unexpected strikes, the first step is not movement, it is breath. 10 seconds is enough. 10 seconds where you do not react, you do not explain, you do not fight, you breathe, and in that breathing, the fire cools, the fog clears, and the path becomes visible. In the monastery, even during combat practice, this principle was sacred. When an opponent made a sudden move, the younger students would rush to block or strike. The masters, however, paused. Their pause was not weakness, it was mastery. They touched the breath, let the surprise reveal itself fully, and then acted with precision. One response, clean and decisive, instead of many wasted movements. In daily life, you will meet the same test. A message that shakes you, a sudden change of plan, a strange signal that stirs unease. The instinct is to collapse into reaction. But if you give yourself even 10 seconds, you step out of being controlled and step into conscious choice. This is the root of discipline, not in doing more, but in pausing long enough to see clearly. From that pause, you can choose the action that aligns with who you truly are. 10 seconds of breath may sound small, but it is the doorway from impulse to mastery, from chaos to presence. Many people fear silence. They rush to fill it with words, with noise, with movement. But in the Shaolin Way, silence is not absence. It is fullness waiting to be seen. It is fertile ground, where what is hidden beneath the surface slowly rises into awareness. When I trained in the monastery, silence was not only practiced in meditation halls, it was woven into daily life. We would eat without speaking, sweep the floors without chatter, walk the mountain paths with only the sound of our breath. At first the silence felt heavy, almost uncomfortable, yet over time something remarkable revealed itself. The mind, once restless, began to soften. Thoughts that seemed urgent lost their power, and in that space clarity appeared on its own, like water seeping from a spring. Strange events in your life can be treated the same way. A sudden pause, an unsettling moment, a break in the usual rhythm, these are not gaps to fear. They are openings. If you resist them, the mind fills with confusion. But if you sit quietly within them, a deeper truth begins to emerge. Silence trains patience. It teaches you to wait for understanding rather than force it. It shows you that clarity cannot be demanded, it must be allowed. The discipline lies in holding the quiet long enough for what is beneath the noise to rise. So when today feels unusual, when the air carries a strangeness you can't explain, enter the silence it offers. Do not rush to cover it. Stay with it. This is where wisdom often hides, not in what you add, but in what you allow to unfold within the stillness. In silence, what seems strange becomes a doorway to deeper knowing. The mind loves to name things. The moment something unusual happens, it stamps a label on it: strange, wrong, dangerous. With that label, fear grows. The thing itself has not changed, but the meaning you gave it now controls how you feel. This is how the mind gives power away without realizing it. In the Shaolin tradition, the practice is different. Instead of quickly naming, you pause and observe. What you call strange may not be strange at all. It may be a signal, and a signal is not an enemy. It is information, a guidepost pointing you towards something you are meant to notice. Once during training, a master placed an obstacle on the path without telling the students. Some grew frustrated, calling it unfair. Others hesitated, feeling anxious about the unexpected. Only a few stopped to study it. Those few realized it was not there to block them, but to reveal their reactions. The obstacle was a signal, showing them where patience, balance, or awareness was lacking. Life does the same. An unexpected event, a feeling that unsettles you, a disruption in your routine, they are not punishments, they are signals. If you call them strange, you close the door. If you call them signals, you open it. Discipline means training yourself to shift this perspective again and again. Instead of tightening when the unknown appears, you soften into curiosity. What is this pointing toward? What is it asking me to see? When you make this shift, the world no longer feels like a series of random disruptions. It becomes a teacher, precise and intentional. And every so-called strange moment reveals itself as a compass, guiding you back to awareness and strength. A storm does not ask for permission before it arrives. The winds rise, the rain pounds, the ground shakes beneath your feet. In those moments, the untrained mind scatters, chasing safety in every direction. But the Shaolin master does something different. He does not fight the storm, nor does he flee from it. He holds his stance, feels his breath, and becomes steady in the middle of chaos. This teaching is not only about weather, it is about life. Odd events, unsettling news, sudden shifts in your day. These are storms of a different kind. They test whether your practice is only for calm mornings or whether it is strong enough to guide you when everything feels uncertain. In the monastery, training never stopped for bad weather. Rain or snow, the students stood outside, legs rooted, breath controlled. The storm around them became part of the lesson. Muscles burned, water soaked through robes. Yet the breath remained the anchor. The elders would remind us, if you can breathe steady here, you can breathe steady anywhere. Your daily practice, whether it is meditation, mindful breathing, or simply moments of silence, is built for the same reason. It is not about adding peace to the easy days. It is about forging stability for the difficult ones. Without practice, the oddities of life feel overwhelming. With practice, they become reminders. Every disruption whispers, return to your stance, return to your breath. This is the path of discipline. Not perfection, not control over the storm, but unshakable steadiness within it. Each small act of practice prepares you for the larger tests, and when the strange winds of today rise, you will know exactly where to stand, rooted, breathing, alive. Sometimes life shows its wisdom in the most unexpected ways. A child laughing at nothing in particular, a bird flying in circles before vanishing into the sky, a conversation that suddenly turns upside down. Odd events that seem meaningless at first glance can carry hidden beauty. The mind, if restless, dismisses them as noise, but a quiet mind notices something sacred moving beneath the surface. The Shaolin path teaches that truth is not always found in order. Often, it hides in the absurd, in the patterns that do not fit, in the moments that break routine. These are like cracks in the wall, where light enters. To the undisciplined eye, they appear as accidents. To the mindful, they are openings into a deeper understanding. There is a story of monks sweeping the courtyard. A strong wind blew, undoing their work in an instant. Some grew frustrated, feeling their labor wasted. But one master smiled and said, "Look, the wind is also sweeping with us." What seemed absurd revealed a hidden truth, that effort and nature were never separate, only part of one dance. Daily life offers the same lesson: an odd encounter, a sudden mistake, a twist that makes no sense. These are not just interruptions, they are invitations to see differently. Mindfulness sharpens the senses to notice textures in these moments. The way laughter breaks tension, the way silence follows chaos, the way beauty appears in unlikely places. Discipline is not only about control, it is about openness. To look at the strange and ask, what is being shown here? This simple shift transforms daily weirdness into sacred teaching, reminding you that life's wisdom is everywhere, waiting to be seen by eyes that are awake. Great achievements often capture the eye, but true mastery rarely announces itself with noise. It lives quietly, hidden in the smallest of choices. The decision to breathe instead of lash out. The willingness to listen when the heart wants to argue. The choice to offer kindness when confusion clouds the air. These moments may seem ordinary, yet they are the foundation of strength. In the Shaolin Way, a student is not judged only by the power of his strike or the depth of his stance. He is judged by how he carries himself when no one is watching. Does he place the teacup gently on the table? Does he treat the floor he sweeps with respect? These details, invisible to many, reveal the quality of his discipline. For mastery is built in these grains of attention, not in the rare flashes of brilliance. When life feels strange, when nothing makes sense, this truth becomes even more important. Chaos tempts the mind to abandon care, but in the midst of disorder, a single small act holds great power. To speak one word with clarity, to extend one gesture of kindness, to breathe once with presence. These are not grand gestures, but anchors that keep you steady when the world sways. Ancient teachers knew that the smallest seed, tended daily, grows into the strongest tree. In the same way, each small choice plants something within you. Over time, these choices shape who you are. And when storms rise, it is not the loud victories that sustain you. It is the quiet discipline of countless subtle moments. This is the path of mastery. Not dazzling, not loud, but steady, alive, and true. Discomfort has a way of revealing what comfort hides. When the body aches, when the mind is restless, when life feels uncertain, this is the moment training begins. In Shaolin, the forge is not fire and hammer, but hardship and discipline. Just as metal is shaped by heat and strike, the spirit is shaped by discomfort. Without it, strength remains only a dream. Students in the monastery would often hold stances until their legs trembled, their bodies begging for release. The point was not cruelty, the point was transformation. Each moment of discomfort stripped away illusion and showed them where their limits truly lay. And each time they stayed with it, their limits moved. What was once unbearable became natural. The forge was at work, crafting resilience deeper than muscle, steadiness beyond thought. Strange ripples in life play the same role: unsettling news, unexpected changes, odd moments that disturb your flow. These are not signs of weakness in the world, but opportunities for strength in you. They press against the edges of your patience, your clarity, your endurance. If you resist them, they burn. If you accept them, they forge. Discipline means stepping willingly into this fire, knowing it will not destroy you but refine you. The ancients understood the mountain is shaped by storms as much as by stillness. In the same way, your core strength is shaped by discomfort as much as by peace. So when today feels strange, when ripples disturb the surface of your life, do not shrink back. Breathe. Stand steady. Let the forge do its work. These moments are not breaking you, they are tempering you into something unshakable, something that can carry wisdom into every step ahead. The signs you notice today are not accidents, they are part of your training. Each odd moment, each unsettling ripple is a chance to return to yourself, to breathe, to stand steady, to see with clear eyes. The more you meet them with presence instead of fear, the more strength you uncover within. This is the heart of Shaolin wisdom. Storms do not take your power, they reveal it. And mindfulness shows you that even your thoughts and emotions are not obstacles, but guides. Personal mastery is born in those small choices, to pause, to listen, to respond with intention rather than reaction. Carry this with you into your day. Let every strange moment remind you to ground yourself, to return to silence, to choose clarity over chaos. Step by step, this is how you build unshakable presence. Thank you for walking this path with me. If these teachings speak to your spirit, support our journey by liking this video and subscribing to our channel Shaolin Soulfire. May your practice today bring you peace, strength, and clarity.